One.
Hi loves, this is the second installation in our Beyond Presenting Information, how to create a presentation that captures an audience. And this mini lesson is on introducing a presentation. So we just listened to framing a presentation, and now we're going to really think about, okay, so once we've decided our why and decided our what's mostly, and of course you can edit and revise them as you continue, and probably thought about what you want your concept kind of to be, then you can move on to how you're going to introduce it. So again, just to remind you, we're thinking always, what would make a presentation? Move your audience from this to this. we want a SpongeBob audience, or maybe even more of an interactive one. But so one of the first things that you really want to think about, so you have your story, you have your narrative, the thing you want to tell, the way you want to build a story with a beginning, middle, and end. You have to nail the opening, right? So we know, maybe you don't recognize this, but this is from a film, and Tom Cruise professes his love to her, and she basically is professing her love to him, that he had her at hello. And so you want your audience at hello. And here's some different examples on how to nail the opening. So we know that some of these same approaches, I guess, we use in writing. So in this, though, in order to really connect with your audience from the very, very beginning, one of the most powerful ways to connect, and this is something that is inherent in our DNA as humans, is this need to connect through story and storytelling. And so in a situation where you're giving a presentation, oftentimes it is appropriate and powerful to tell a captivating story. So you want to connect with your audience in a way that tells them some sort of captivating emotional story, intense story, funny story, some way that they can hear your story and connect. Another thing that we could do is ask a rhetorical, thought-provoking question. Now, what I would love for you to stray from is this idea of like non-rhetorical questions, unless you're doing it really with intention. But we have this sort of like middle school default mode of saying, how many of you have ever gone to the park? Well, I have, and ... And these are not powerful. It doesn't really capture your audience in any way, shape, or form. But we've been doing a lot of talking about the power of rhetorical questions in writing, and so, and really even in listening to speaking. So think about in rhetoric, getting people to think deeply is a way to engage their brain and that sometimes their hearts from the very moment that you open up your presentation. So rhetorical and thought-provoking questions can be really powerful, and it's important with those to give a little bit of wait time so that people can deconstruct kind of what they're thinking. Maybe even ask a couple of people to share out, as long as it's not awkward, or maybe turn and talk is a good way of getting people to connect with the people around them and to really be thinking and open in a space so that you can then move forward with your transitioning into your main concepts. Third type of thing that you can do is state a shocking statistic or headline. Now, this is a tricky one, to just drop a shocking statistic and then move on. So it can be very jarring. So you don't want to just say 99% of people love ice cream and then say, hi, my name is Miss Barnhart, and I'm going to be presenting on ice cream. So you have to really think about how you are going to transition these opening pieces into your work in a meaningful way. So just keep that in mind. But a shocking statistic or headline, can be really powerful. So another thing is to use a powerful quote. So I have chosen this quote from Matt Groening, who is the creator of The Simpsons. As you can see, that's my theme on this slide. Me fail English? That's impossible is a funny quote. So if you wanted to start off in a light way, if you're speaking about something heavy, you can do that. But whatever the quote is, has to be intentional, meaningful, purposeful. You can't just go to quotes.com or whatever, quotable.com, I don't know. Pick some random Oprah quote, say it, and then again, hi, my name is Miss Barnhart, and here's my presentation. After you drop that, it has to be intricately connected to your work. So keep that in mind. Over here on the right, you see you could possibly show a gripping photo. There's a lot of, I don't know if you've seen The Simpsons, but there's a lot of Treehouse of Horrors episodes that come around Halloween time. And here is a burning Simpson face, kind of. Maybe it's something shocking. Maybe it's something powerful, inspiring, motivational, whatever the case. It could be a funny little photo of you when you're small. So think about showing a gripping photo if it's connected. If you're really going for that pathos piece that we talk about with rhetoric, you can grab their attention that way. Perhaps you bring in a stuffed toy or some sort of prop as a creative visual aid. I know I've seen a TED Talk where a woman is speaking about the fragility of life, and she brings in a little ceramic dish and drops it, and it smashes across the floor. And she uses it purposefully and intentionally, not just to shock, but to connect to the rest of her idea. So perhaps you think of using a prop or a visual aid, but again and again and again, these have to be integrated smoothly. And then finally, perhaps you show a short video. So I've included this GIF of a woman taking happy pills. So if you were talking about the importance of quick fix versus not quick fix, you could do a little video clip. Now, a rule of thumb with short videos, many times you guys want to like throw in a 3-minute video to up your time. That is not only inappropriate, but often has copyright issues. So really, if you're going to use a short video clip, like 10 seconds to 30 seconds at the most, is important. And don't go and find a video that's giving the information that you're going to give in your presentation. Like, that's what you're there for. So just keep that in mind. Videos can be really engaging to an audience, but use them mindfully, just like the rest of these openings. So, so you've nailed the opening, and now it's time to shape that why and that what that we talked about from the frame. You have to really initiate the narrative. So when you are creating this presentation or any presentation, you're really writing a story, right? You're creating this narrative. It has a clear beginning, middle, and end. There's a little bit of conflict. There's transitions. It moves smoothly. There is some resolution at the end. It's not just rote default mode robots of spewing information out to the audience. Even informational presentations tell a story, right? So you have to pick and choose the stuff that you're going to use, including your details and statistics and rhetorical devices, but also how you're showing it, what kinds of visuals you're using, how you're interacting with the audience, which we'll get into in another series. So really, you have this narrative, right? But like, how are you going to initiate the story? Do you start with the conflict? Do you dive right into dialogue? What is the stuff that you're going to use for the narrative? And then you want to introduce your purpose and intention, right? There's an old saying of like, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. Maybe not in so few words or so simplistically, but that's essentially like the setup. So what is your purpose and intention? And then you really want to set that tone, right? Remember that lady jamming out and that GIF from the first one. What is the tone and the context of your subject? Maybe where you fit in with the subject. Think about how you want to, again, shape that why and that what. And then a final challenge I have for you is to set up an echo phrase to remember. So if you think of famous speeches, you have these echo phrases, right? Like, I have a dream was repeated over and over and over. Yes, we can. These, if you're thinking of, or Make America Great Again is a current one. So there's these echo phrases, right? And people can hang their hat on those phrases. They remember it. They may not remember everything that came in between, but essentially they're leaving with something to remember. And it can be really, really powerful. So that's my challenge to you. And that is all for this one. So we will catch you on the flip side.